In 1960s Japan, entomologist Niki Junpei arrives at a remote desert village, searching for a rare beetle species. The vast, unforgiving dunes symbolize his existential quest. Historically, post-war Japan grappled with identity, mirrored here as Niki, a modern man, confronts nature's indifference. The villagers, shadowy figures, observe him silently, foreshadowing his impending entrapment in their surreal world. The villagers offer Niki shelter, but lead him to a deep sand pit, a shack at its bottom. This reflects Abe's critique of societal coercion. The pit mirrors Japan's rigid post-war hierarchies. The villagers' obscured faces hint at collective complicity. Niki's descent into the pit marks his transition from observer to prisoner, a theme central to existential literature. Niki meets the unnamed woman, shoveling sand ceaselessly. Her mechanical labor reflects Japan's post-war economic grind. Abe, influenced by Camus, portrays her as both jailer and fellow victim. The shack's dim light highlights their strained dynamic. She embodies resignation, while Niki clings to rationality. Their forced coexistence begins a psychological duel. Niki paces the shack, plotting escape as sand seeps through cracks, a metaphor for futility. The oil lamp's dying light mirrors his fading hope. Historically, 1960s Japan saw protests against systemic control. Niki's rebellion parallels this. Yet the woman's silent vigilance underscores Abe's theme. Resistance is meaningless against immutable forces. Days pass as Niki battles the relentless sand. Abe, a medical student turned writer, uses sand as a clinical metaphor for entropy. The villagers demand shoveling to prevent burial, echoing Japan's post-war labor ethos. Niki's exhaustion mirrors modern burnout, questioning the value of Sisyphean tasks in industrialized societies. Niki crafts a rope ladder, but the villagers sabotage his escape. This scene critiques false promises of mobility in 1960s Japan, where economic growth masked systemic traps. The ladder's collapse symbolizes broken aspirations, a recurring motif in Abe's works. Niki's physical descent mirrors his psychological unraveling. Niki begins shoveling alongside the woman, their movements synchronized. Abe, influenced by Kafka, explores how captivity breeds compliance. The shared cigarette at dusk hints at twisted camaraderie. Historically, this mirrors Japan's post-war adaptation to westernization, resistance giving way to uneasy assimilation. A spilled water jug triggers Niki's breakdown. Abe, who lived through World War II scarcity, uses water as a symbol of life's fragility. Niki licking moisture from sand mirrors addicts in Abe's later novels. The woman's tears reveal her own humanity. Both are victims of the village's cruel experiment in social control. Niki studies a trapped beetle, recognizing his own insignificance. Abe's entomology hobby informed this metaphor. The beetle's jar mirrors the pit. Critics link this to Japan's post-war identity crisis, individual agency crushed by larger systems. Niki's acceptance reflects mono no aware, the Japanese aesthetic of transience. Niki now shovels calmly as villagers lower a new prisoner. Abe's ending critiques cyclical oppression, whether in feudal Japan or modern capitalism. The unchanged dunes symbolize nature's apathy to human struggle. The novel, adapted into a 1964 Cannes-winning film, remains a stark reminder. Freedom is often an illusion constructed by those in power.